There has been so much hype surrounding Sezane's fall collection, so in today's video I wanted to review and share with you my favorite pieces. From the lookbook, there were definitely some things I was excited about, but to be honest, there's only a couple or a handful of pieces that I'm genuinely excited about now that I've seen them in person. So if you watch my Sezane reviews, you'll know that I adore Sezane. I have a lot of pieces from them that I've worn for 3, 4, 5 years, but at the same time, there are a lot of pieces that are nice, but they're not special enough, or they're not high quality enough, or they just don't quite work once I see it in real life. You know the drill now. Let me share with you my review, how I would style these pieces, whether I'm going to keep versus return, and then I'll have all my sizing information listed down below as well. So one of the pieces that really caught my eye from the lookbook is this brown knit jacket. I think this particular shade of brown with the black, with the beige, is such a stunning combination, but at the same time, it feels very wearable. I love that it's got the tortoiseshell buttons, and I think this really chunky neckline is also very beautiful. It makes it feel more luxurious to have that detailing and that structure at the neckline. Something that I think I don't love on me is that the sleeves are a little bit long, but nothing I can't roll up. The thing about this cardigan that has me umming and ahhing is that it is a little bit too warm. I think for an autumn collection, I would have expected it to be a bit lighter, but this is a very, very warm, very thick cardigan. Because it's so chunky, I'm just thinking a lot about how I will wear this piece. It's a little bit too heavy to go inside a lot of coats I own, and there is a pretty small window where I'm wearing a jacket like this alone. This is one of Sezane's mohair blends, and as you know from my past videos, these can vary a lot in quality. They can sometimes be quite soft and lovely, and they can sometimes be scratchy. This one to the hand, and as I'm wearing it, feels very soft, it feels very comfortable. I don't feel like it's scratchy, but if you know yourself and you know you're sensitive to mohair, then skip. From a styling point of view, I love wearing cozy knitwear, but you'll see in the clips that this one can lean a little bit bulky. So if you don't like bulkiness, if you don't like more structured knitwear silhouettes, then consider whether this is right for you. The pattern is literally perfect. So if they ever release something like this in a lighter material, that will 100% be mine. I've been thinking a lot in my wardrobe how certain Sezane pieces are my best purchases ever. So things like my Leontine, I wear this so often. So I've never ever regretted this, and if I ever lost it, I would buy it again without thinking. And then the other pieces I love are the Sezane Betty cardigan, which to be honest function the same because they're a knitted jacket, but the weight of it is a lot more appropriate and versatile for the transitional season. They're also 100% merino wool, so you don't have to worry about any mohair sensitivity in case your skin doesn't really get along with it. Let's move to one of the items I was most excited about in this fall collection, and that is the Violette. I've tried a couple pairs of Sezane shoes and I have very mixed feelings. But when I went to the London store last year, I specifically wanted to take a look at all their shoes, and there were quite a few pairs that looked pretty nice in construction. So I've been thinking about trying some of their loafers, some of their flat everyday shoes again. These are the Violettes, and something Sezane does really well are these burgundy colors. They get the color right, they get the texture and the sheen of the leather right, and I just feel like everything they do in this color is really beautiful. I've been wearing these for the last 5 days, consecutively every day for the last 5 days. I'm in between sizes, and I first ordered them in the larger size. It was definitely one size big, so I decided to size down. So I would say true to size, but if you're in between, size down. I've been styling these shoes with socks, and the first day I wore them, I would say I felt a little bit of rubbing on my back heel. Funnily, it was only my left heel, not my right. It must be about the way I walk and just the shape of my foot, I guess. I'm walking about 2 to 3 hours a day in these, so by day 2, I will say the shoe definitely softened. I still felt a little bit of rubbing on that left foot. By day 3 though, there's nothing now. So day 3 onwards, I feel like I've broken them in, and they're very comfortable. These are made from a vegetable tan leather, so it is a leather where you will get scratches, you will get markings, and again, because of the way I walk, on my left foot, there are definitely some visible scratches that you can already see. On my right foot, oddly, there's nothing. So as you kick something on the floor, or you are clumsy like me and you scrape the sides on something, you will get a mark there, and you can polish these out, but if it's gonna bother you, I think this vegetable tan leather is probably not the best choice. Sometimes with Sezane shoes, I find the sole a little bit too thin, but because these have that chunky rubber sole, I haven't had this issue. The sole actually feels rather comfortable. As I'm just kind of visually taking a look at it, I always like it when you can see the stitching on a shoe. When it's not all glue, when you can still see some stitching and the stitching is neat and it looks beautiful. It's just one of those little details that I find very beautiful in the craftsmanship. 5 days is not a lot of time to talk about longevity, but it does pass my comfort test. I love the style of them. They style so well with the kind of things I like to wear. So for now, I'm really loving and excited about these shoes. If I'm being completely honest, I would say this fall collection has been a little bit disappointing for me because I was excited by the lookbook, but then I try things on and they weren't, I think, as I had imagined. And this is a good piece to show that. This blouse I knew was going to be somewhat dramatic, but I think what I didn't expect is for it to be so roomy on the body and to be so long in the length. I think this neckline is dramatic. A lot of people won't like it. But it is actually my style. I do love this collar, but combined with how oversized the body is, it's feeling too much like a sleep gown. As Sezane's pricing for a blouse, I just really can't justify it. It's not perfect, doesn't look great, especially worn out. And I would much prefer a more subtle version. And soon after ordering this one, I saw this one from Christy Dawn, and I think this is a lot better because it's just less dramatic in the details. If you are looking at this blouse, I 100% would recommend sizing down because that will give you a little bit more of a closer fit. But as it is, I'm definitely not keeping this piece. On to something a bit more positive. One of the pieces I bought last year was this Balthazar vest. It's a white fleece vest and I have worn this piece a lot as well. It's kind of getting up there in my most worn Sezane pieces. I wore this in Japan. I wore it all autumn, winter. I wore it while moving. It was just that cute little piece I could put on to make an outfit instantly a little bit more stylish. So because how much I love vests, there were a few pieces I wanted to try on with you. This black and white houndstooth vest is made from 75% wool. It feels really lovely in quality, and when I try it on, it has a really nice structure and shape to it. It's a little bit more long line than the kind of vest I would normally go for, but inside a coat, over jeans, it works really well. The 75% wool is a little bit, I think, rough. However, it's one of those wool textures that you know will hold up really well. It's a little bit rough, but it's very sturdy feeling. So I would say the quality is quite nice. It does have a slight trapeze shape. So if you're very petite, sometimes I don't find this shape to be the most suited to me. So based on what you like, it does kind of flare out slightly at the hip. So if you like that, I think this shape and this quality is really nice. If you prefer something shorter, which I do, I probably prefer my Balthazar vest or the next couple I'm going to show you. There are only so many kinds of pieces we wear in winter. It's kind of like jumper, cardigan. So the vest just adds a new option. Something that actually made me gasp from the lookbook is this patchwork vest. I think one of the trends right now is quilting, patchwork, something more artisanal, handmade. And we try not to be influenced, but sometimes, you know, we can be influenced. I am loving this patchwork vest. It's leather pieces sewn together with this beautiful stitching. And I love the different shades of blue. I love the material. It feels like one of those pieces that you pull out every so often. It's not an everyday piece, but every time it just feels that special. This is a leather vest and I think it'll look good with basics, like what I'm wearing right now. You know, think trench coat, think basic sweaters, and I think it'll look really good with white broidery lace pieces that I wear a lot of. So any dress, any top in white, this would be the perfect piece over the top. I'm gonna be honest with myself from the start, this is not something where the cost per wear is really gonna come down that quickly. I'm not gonna wear it every day, I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm gonna wear it all the time, but I think when I wear it, it will be the most incredible piece to wear. In the summer, I love wearing pointel, I love wearing embroidery, and I think in the winter it translates to white knit pieces like this one. This is the equivalent of that embroidery blouse I'm wearing all the time in summer. This is the autumn-winter version. So with this white knit vest, I really like the pattern of the knit. When I look at knitwear these days, I always think to myself, is this an item I would prefer to make and knit myself, or would I rather buy it? I like to make certain kinds of pieces for my wardrobe, so I will always save those to make myself. And then there are other things where it's a little bit more intricate, it's a little bit more complicated, that I would prefer to buy because I just don't knit as many, I think, difficult projects. I like mindless things in front of the TV. So that's why I was drawn to this piece, and it feels very feminine with the lace designs. Because I love vests so much, I could just see 101 ways to wear it. I'll wear it alone, and I'll wear it as a layering piece in between pieces. You'll be able to tell through the clips that it's got a little weight to it. It's got a certain thickness, but I think it still feels practical, unlike this one. And the reason is, this has a cotton in it, so naturally it's just a little bit lighter, cooler to wear. Whereas this is mohair, which is very, very warm, so therefore the thickness and the mohair didn't quite work. This one I'm gonna keep. It's one of those easy items I just end up wearing a lot. I do think that I buy a little bit less knitwear because there are so many pieces that are on my to knit list that I would love to kind of make myself. I do get a lot of questions about Sezane knitwear. Sezane is the place that I would recommend for knitwear. Even as I'm knitting, I still feel like Sezane knitwear really holds up if you get the right ones. The pieces I recommend are always the ones that are 100% cotton merino blends, or they are merino wool. These are the best options from Sezane. Some of their mohair blends are pretty good, but the merino ones are always by far the best. I honestly just didn't need any staple knitwear pieces this time round. I've got the staples covered, but the jute cardigan I know will be nice quality. It's merino wool made in Italy. It's that flatter knit texture that doesn't seem to peel, and it's very similar in material to the Betty. I've tried the Othello and the Emily. These are slightly a little bit too long for me, maybe a little bit too warm for me, but they're both good options. They peel a little bit, but nothing crazy, and easy to de-peel gently at the end of a season. I've owned both were great. The Naya jumper isn't really my style, I think, with that larger neckline, but merino wool, this will hold up incredibly well in a wardrobe. I do have a tendency to avoid the blends like these ones because half the time they're really scratchy, half the time they just don't hold their shape as nicely, and I just don't enjoy wearing them that much anymore. Another knitwear piece I ordered is this 100% merino wool jumper. This is a slightly lighter jumper, and I think this one is meant to be worn next to skin as that first layer. So after just saying that I think 100% merino wool sweaters are always worth it from Sezane, I think this one, I'm torn because it's beautiful. Like, it's got this nice ribbing around the neckline, and sometimes it's little details like that that makes me love a piece. I just wish there was a little bit more. I love the red shade. I love the quality of it. I do like the neckline, but I think for the pricing, I just need a little bit more to fall in love with. I have Sezane knits where it's got beautiful buttons around the shoulder, maybe like little accents around the sleeve, a design thing that is going to make it more special. This one is just a little bit too simple, despite it being technically a very good piece. I am gonna say, compared to like a simple Uniqlo merino sweater, this one is slightly more substantial. You can feel there is more material, more wool being used. It's a little bit denser, tighter knit. I just noticed as well, around the wrist, you do have these little details. And I mentioned in my videos that it's the little things that count. But I think for myself this time round, it's not quite enough for me to be 100% in love with it. Okay, finally, something I actually like. These wool shorts. So I first ordered them in my usual Sezane size. I'm in between sizes. For Sezane, I always size up. But honestly, they were too bulky. I think they felt too large. So I went a size down. It fits so much better now. These wool shorts are really nice autumn-winter shorts. I will wear it with sheer tights. I'll wear it with boots. I'll wear it with my cozy knits. So let me tell you why you might like this or why you may not like this. So you'll like this if you're looking for different silhouettes to go for on the bottom. You'll like this if you like kind of mini skirts, but you don't want the fuss, this is a nice alternative. It feels really cozy. I think if you like academia style, if you like classic English style and pieces, you'll love this short. You won't like it because it can be a little bit bulky, especially when I wore the size up that was a little bit big. It felt a little bulky. I think that it is not the most flattering thing ever just because it is wool. It's a little bit less fitted, it's a little bit more structured just in the material alone. I think that very short shorts tend to feel the most elongating. This is a more, I think, reasonable length. So it's not super short, but because of that, it's definitely not my most elongating short, but it is a little bit easier and more versatile to wear. Okay, this next thing was just undeniably ugly. These are the Clara pants. I love the fabric, I love the corduroy, I love the floral. These pants look, in my opinion, very bad on. They feel like a legging. What happens when I wear this pant is that it gets kind of caught on certain areas. I can feel it kind of caught on my thigh. I can feel it kind of caught on my calves. So it just doesn't drape at all. And it feels like a legging. It is my correct size, which makes how bad it looks a definite no. I love the Clara pant on so many people. You know, people like Lizzie Hadfield, she looks incredible in this pant. So I'm not saying it's bad on everyone, but definitely not for me. A piece that so many people love is the Clyde trench coat. So I've tried to make this work in the past, and there were things I didn't like, but I think I finally figured the sizing, the color combination that I actually really like. So in the past, what I didn't like about it was that when I went for my true size, it's too small. It's not oversized enough to layer, especially around the upper body. So in the underarm, in the shoulders, there's no room for me to layer a sweater or a vest. And that's a deal breaker because I'm not gonna wear a trench coat all the time with a t-shirt. Because it was already an oversized shape, I wasn't sure sizing up would really fix the problem I was having because I thought maybe I would then be just drowning in too much fabric along the body. So I did size up, and oddly, I don't find it too oversized at all. I find it quite fitted, actually. Maybe because I'm so used to wearing oversized coats, but it seems to fit very well through the body. It gives me a little bit of room on the shoulders and in this underarm area to layer a knit inside, a medium weight knit. The sleeves are long, but in my opinion, it's designed to be rolled up twice so you can see the lining. And I think that rolled up twice, it actually looks very neat and intentional, as you can hopefully see in the styling. There are so many colors for this trench, so choosing the black feels a little bit wrong because it feels kind of boring. But at the same time, I kind of just love the black and white detailing of the lining. And honestly, I think that's what makes the coat for me. I would never consider it if it was just black, but I think with this accent, I kind of love it. I also find gingham to be more of a summer pattern. So just seeing it a little bit on the sleeve feels quite playful, feels quite light in a transitional autumn-winter piece. I definitely think a part of the reason I want a Clyde in my life is because I do get a lot of questions about the Clyde. Do you like the Clyde? Why don't you have the Clyde? Why don't you recommend the Clyde? How would you wear it? Which color would you go for? I do get a lot of questions about this piece. So I love to wear it for a bit, style it in different ways, and ultimately just see if it becomes a staple in my wardrobe and give you updates how I wear it, how it wears over time. Since my order, there's also been some newer pieces. So very quickly, this whole collaboration with Baziste, beautiful, but definitely not quite my style. I think that tapestry kind of floral motif is so stunning to look at, but it's not the kind of thing I would wear. It feels a little bit bohemian for me. The piece that does catch my eye is this cream and white jacket. I mean, it's beautiful. I think the colors of the florals and the floral designs are stunning, but I know myself, I've purchased this kind of thing before, I don't end up wearing it. So been there, done that. The quilts, I love. For the home, that is exactly my style actually. Something I really like the look of is a Clyde coat in wool. I've seen the navy on their site. If I didn't have a navy coat, if I wasn't all set for my wool coats, that is a coat I'm interested in. Something I noticed is that the sleeves feel quite long. That will need tailoring, but I love the way that one looks. Very classic. Sezane released a few new bags, the Lou and the Gary. Both of these are okay. You know, if they release it in a really cool color or pattern, it might be more exciting, but for me they're quite boring at the moment. There's quite a bit of jewelry and accessory, and I've said many times before, I think that their gold-plated stuff is extremely expensive for gold-plated. So to be honest, no matter how nice it may look, it's not really something I buy. I feel like at this pricing you can find gold vermeil, maybe even some gold field, some 9-carat gold pieces, and it's just too expensive, I think, for what it is. If you're looking for a dress from Sezane, the one that I would highly recommend is the Harper. I have this in white. It is the most beautiful, most flattering dress I own for autumn winter, and 100% would recommend this in either the cream or, even more versatile, the navy or black. That was everything I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching. I think this was pretty mixed review, a lot of pieces that I wasn't completely in love with, and I would love to know what your thoughts were. What were the pieces that you loved? And honestly, even if I said I didn't like something, it doesn't mean it's not good. I think most things in this video were pretty nice quality. It's more the smaller details that weren't what I was expecting. Thank you so much for watching today's video. All of my sizing and a lot of these pieces I went up or went down in size. All the sizing will be down below, and I'll have links to everything as well. Have an incredible week. I will see you soon. Bye.